The sterile air of my lab in Brussels buzzed with the hum of machines. I was hunched over my workbench, surrounded by jars of preserved plant specimens and notebooks filled with my research on Verdantia's unique flora. My fingers brushed the surface of a delicate orchid, a species I had spent years studying, when an unexpected sound pierced through the usual clatter of my instruments. It was a whisper, soft yet commanding, as if the very atmosphere around me had shifted. Aline, the voice called my name, wrapping around me like a gentle breeze. I froze, my heart racing. I glanced around the lab, half expecting to find someone or something behind me. But I was alone. The faint whisper persisted, growing clearer, resonating through the core of my being. I felt an inexplicable pull toward it, a connection deeper than any scientific explanation could provide. Is this some sort of anomaly? I muttered to myself, shaking my head in disbelief. No, it can't be. I forced myself to focus, trying to rationalize what was happening. My colleagues often dismissed such experiences as mere figments of the imagination, yet here I was, experiencing something so tangible, so real. I reached for my recording device, my hands trembling slightly as I pressed the button to capture the sound. The whispers danced in the air, weaving in and out like tendrils of smoke. Aline, come to me, the voice beckoned, filled with an urgency that sent shivers down my spine. Moments later, Gaspard, my colleague and a renowned skeptic, burst into the lab, his expression a mixture of annoyance and curiosity. What's going on? I heard you talking to yourself again, he said, crossing his arms, his brow furrowing. Gaspard, you have to listen to this. I think I found something incredible. I rushed to show him the recording, my excitement bubbling over. He leaned in, eyes narrowing as he listened. The whispers filled the space between us, but instead of awe, I saw skepticism etched deeper into his features. It's probably just interference from the communication arrays, he replied dismissively, waving a hand as if swatting away a fly. You've been working too hard, Aline. You need a break. I felt a pang of frustration. No, you don't understand. This is different. It feels alive. I let the words hang in the air, hoping he might grasp the gravity of my discovery. Gaspard shook his head, his skepticism unwavering. Alive? Aline, it's a glitch. You're a botanist, not a mystic. Stick to what you know. He turned away, shrugging off my excitement as if it were nothing more than a passing fancy. I watched him leave, a knot of disappointment forming in my stomach. How could he not feel it? The connection was undeniable, and I yearned to explore it further. I needed to dig deeper, to find out what this voice wanted from me. After Gaspard's departure, I resumed my research, my mind racing with possibilities. I scoured the archives, searching for any mention of similar phenomena. As I delved deeper, I stumbled upon a list of individuals who had reported hearing the same voice, a group known as the Chosen. Each account was punctuated with phrases that mirrored my own experience. They spoke of a calling, an irresistible urge to journey into the heart of Verdantia. Intrigued, I leaned closer to the screen, scanning for more information. One name stood out, Raoul. He was a charismatic figure, often described as a visionary. According to the articles, he claimed to understand the voice and its significance. My heart raced with curiosity and trepidation. Could he hold the key to unraveling this mystery? I made a decision then and there. I would find Raoul. I needed answers, and perhaps he could help me comprehend the connection I felt so deeply. As I prepared to leave my lab, a surge of anticipation coursed through me. The voice had reached out to me, and I was determined to answer its call. The journey ahead was uncertain, but I felt a glimmer of hope, a chance to uncover the secrets hidden within the lush, green arms of Verdantia. The air was thick with anticipation as Gaspard and I trekked through the dense underbrush of Verdantia, the chorus of unknown creatures echoing around us. Each step felt charged, as if the very ground beneath our feet was alive. I could feel the voice growing stronger with every moment, its whispers wrapping around my consciousness like a warm embrace. I turned to Gaspard, who walked beside me, his brow furrowed in skepticism. "Are you sure this is the right place, Aline?" he asked, glancing at me sideways. There was a hint of concern in his voice, but also an underlying tone of disbelief. "Yes," I replied, my heart racing with excitement. "The readings from the device I modified indicate a significant resonance here. It's almost like the planet is calling us." He shook his head, his dark hair swaying slightly. "Resonance doesn't equate to a call. It could just be environmental noise. You're letting your imagination run wild." I sighed, feeling a pang of frustration mixed with determination. "It's not just noise," Gaspard. "I can feel it. I know you're skeptical, but you can't dismiss everything just because it doesn't fit your scientific framework." As we continued deeper into the forest, the vibrant greens and blues of the flora surrounded us, almost glowing under the dappled sunlight. It was breathtaking. Then, as if on cue, a group of figures emerged from the thicket ahead of us. They looked just as stunned to see us as we were to see them. "Welcome, Chosen," one of them said, stepping forward. She had long, flowing hair that seemed to shimmer, and her eyes sparkled with a mix of curiosity and wisdom. "I'm Elara. We've been waiting for you." "Waiting for us?" Gaspard questioned, crossing his arms defensively. "Who are you?" Elara smiled, unfazed by his skepticism. "We are the others who have heard the voice. Each of us drawn here for our own reasons. Like you, we seek to understand what it means." "Understand? Or exploit?" Gaspard shot back, his skepticism only intensifying. I could see him bracing for a confrontation, the scientist in him unwilling to bend. "Gaspard, please," I urged, trying to diffuse the tension. "Let's just hear what they have to say." Elara gestured for us to join the gathering, where a circle of people had formed. Each person introduced themselves, sharing snippets of their stories. A man named Cato spoke of his visions of a dying Earth, while a woman named Mira shared how she had been led here through dreams that felt all too real. Their experiences mirrored the whispers I had heard, and I felt a sense of belonging among them. As the conversation flowed, my gaze drifted to Raoul, who was leaning against a gnarled tree, observing us with an intensity that made my skin tingle. When he finally spoke, his voice was smooth, almost hypnotic. "We stand on the precipice of something monumental. This planet has the power to restore Earth, to save humanity from the brink of collapse." I felt a shiver run down my spine. "What do you mean?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. Raoul stepped forward, his presence commanding. "The energy of Verdantia can be harnessed. Imagine a world where our needs are met, where diseases are eradicated, and poverty is a thing of the past. All we need to do is tap into it." "But at what cost?" Gaspard interjected, his voice laced with suspicion. "You're talking about harnessing a force we don't fully understand. This could have catastrophic consequences." Raoul met Gaspard's gaze, his expression unwavering. "Sometimes, sacrifices must be made for the greater good. Are we not willing to risk a little for the chance to save everything?" I felt a tug of war within me. Raoul's vision was intoxicating, yet Gaspard's caution echoed in my mind. I looked around at the others, their faces painted with a mix of hope and apprehension. The weight of the moment pressed heavily on my shoulders. As the gathering continued, I could sense the energy shifting. I was drawn to the vibrant life around us, the voice of Verdantia whispering promises of hope and power. Yet, Gaspard's wary gaze reminded me of the dangers that lay in blind ambition. The allure of Raoul's words danced in my mind, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper was at play. "Let's take a moment," I finally suggested, breaking the tension. "We need to think this through. We can't rush into decisions we might regret." As the group paused, I stepped away from the circle, seeking solace in the embrace of the towering trees. I inhaled deeply, letting the scent of the earth fill my lungs. The voice fluttered in my mind, urging me to listen, to trust. But trust in what? In whom? The forest seemed to breathe with me, and in that moment, I knew that my journey was just beginning. The air grew thick with anticipation as we ventured deeper into the forest. The towering trees loomed above us, their leaves whispering secrets in the gentle breeze. I could feel the voice resonating within me, a pulsing rhythm that seemed to guide my every step. This way, I murmured, instinctively turning toward a path that opened before us, leading deeper into the heart of Verdantia. Are you sure about this, Aline? Gaspard asked, his brow furrowed in concern. I could see the skepticism in his eyes, the scientist in him fighting against the allure of the unknown. We need to be cautious. We don't know what lies ahead. I know, Gaspard, I replied, trying to reassure him. But the voice, it's calling to me. I feel like we're getting closer to something important. My heart raced as I recalled the warmth of the energy that had enveloped me when I first heard it. Raoul, walking slightly ahead, turned back with a knowing smile. The heart of Verdantia is powerful. It's only natural that you feel drawn to it, Aline. This is where our destinies intertwine. There was something magnetic about him, a confidence that drew others in, yet I couldn't shake the nagging feeling that his intentions were not as pure as they seemed. As we continued, the trees began to thin, revealing a breathtaking clearing dominated by a massive ancient tree. Its trunk was gnarled and twisted, yet it radiated an ethereal energy, pulsing in harmony with the voice that echoed around us. I felt an overwhelming urge to approach it, my feet moving almost of their own accord. Look at it, I breathed, transfixed. It's magnificent. The tree seemed alive, its bark shimmering as if it were breathing. The whispers around us grew louder, a symphony of voices urging us closer. Gaspard stepped beside me, his expression a mixture of awe and wariness. This is incredible, but we should be careful. We don't know what this energy could do. I nodded, but my heart was already racing toward the tree. What if it holds the answers we're seeking? What if it can help us save Earth? I felt a surge of hope at the thought. Raoul approached the tree with purpose, a glint of ambition in his eyes. This tree is a relic of ancient power. If we can harness its energy, we could provide solutions to all of humanity's crises. His voice was smooth, persuasive. Are you suggesting we exploit it? Gaspard interjected, his tone sharp. This isn't just a resource to be tapped into. We need to understand it first. Raoul waved his hand dismissively. Understanding is important, yes, but we don't have time to waste. The world is in peril, and we hold the key to its salvation right here. Imagine what we could achieve. I felt a conflict stirring within me. Part of me was captivated by Raoul's vision, but another part, the one that resonated with the voice of the planet, screamed in protest. What if this tree is more than just a solution? I asked, my voice trembling slightly. What if it's a living entity that deserves our respect? Raoul's gaze turned steely. Respect comes with power, Aline. We need to take action before it's too late. The group was divided now, some nodding in agreement with Raoul, while others exchanged uncertain glances. Gaspard sighed heavily, his eyes searching mine. We can't rush into this, Aline. I don't trust him. This could endanger everything. I felt torn, caught between my loyalty to Gaspard and the magnetic pull of Raoul's grand vision. The voice grew louder in my mind, a chorus of urgency and longing that I couldn't ignore. I need to understand this tree, I said finally, my decision firming within me. I have to see it for myself. Aline, wait! Gaspard called out as I stepped toward the ancient tree, the energy thrumming in the air around me, beckoning me closer. I turned back briefly, meeting Gaspard's worried gaze. I'll be careful, I promise, I said softly, before walking forward, the whispers enveloping me like a warm embrace. The moment my fingers brushed against the rough bark, a jolt of energy surged through me, igniting something deep within my soul. I wasn't just drawn to the tree, I was meant to be here, meant to uncover its secrets. As I closed my eyes, I surrendered to the moment, letting the voice guide me deeper into the heart of Verdantia, unaware of the storm brewing behind me. The forest whispered around me, a soft symphony that resonated with the very essence of Verdantia. I stood alone beneath the ancient tree, its colossal trunk twisting toward the sky, branches weaving a tapestry of green against the azure backdrop. The voice, a melodic hum that had lured me here, now swirled within me, urging me to listen, to understand. Are you really here? I murmured, placing my palm against the rough bark. The texture felt alive, pulsating with an energy that sent shivers through my fingertips. What do you want from me? As if in response, the voice grew clearer, each word wrapping around me like a warm embrace. It was not just a call, it was a consciousness, ancient and wise, seeking a protector. I felt the weight of its history, the burdens it carried for millennia. Aline, it beckoned, the syllables dancing in the air. You are chosen. I closed my eyes, surrendering to the sensation. The memories of the planet flooded my mind, visions of lush landscapes, vibrant flora, and a symbiotic relationship between nature and its inhabitants. Yet, there was darkness too, hints of a time when greed and ambition threatened the harmony of Verdantia. I gasped, the realization dawning upon me, Raoul's plans could unleash chaos. Raoul, I whispered, the name tasting bitter on my tongue. I could see him standing there, his handsome visage cloaked in ambition, a smirk concealing darker intentions. He spoke of harnessing power, but what he sought was control, a means to dominate rather than preserve. The thought ignited a fire within me, a fierce determination to protect this world that had called to me. Why does he not hear you? I asked the tree, feeling foolish for speaking to an ancient being. Why doesn't he understand your pain? The response was a gentle rustle of leaves, a sigh that echoed through the branches. I understood then that the voice sought not just a protector, but a guardian filled with empathy and wisdom, qualities Raoul lacked. As I stepped back, my heart raced. I needed to confront him. I needed to reveal the truth behind his facade before it was too late. Just as I turned to leave, a familiar figure emerged through the verdant undergrowth. It was Gaspard, his brow furrowed with concern. Aline, he called, his voice cutting through the forest's harmony. I was looking for you. Gaspard, I replied, my heart swelling with relief. You have to listen to me. The voice, it's not just a phenomenon. It's the pulse of the planet. It's alive, and it needs our help. He stared at me, skepticism flickering in his eyes. I thought you were lost in your fantasies. This planet, these voices, are you sure it's not the isolation getting to you? No! I retorted, the frustration boiling over. I'm not imagining this. I can feel it, Gaspard. The connection is real. We have to stop Raoul before he exploits this place. Gaspard crossed his arms, his skepticism battling against the concern etched on his face. I've seen the way Raoul talks about this power. It's dangerous, Aline. He's too consumed by his vision. But how can we convince the others? I took a deep breath, gathering my thoughts. We gather evidence, we show them what he truly intends. If we expose him, we can protect Verdantia. Expose him? Gaspard echoed, his voice low. You don't know what he's capable of. You've seen his charm, Aline. He can manipulate them with ease. I nodded, feeling the weight of his words. But if we work together, we can reveal his true nature. We must tread carefully, but we can't let fear hold us back. Gaspard's gaze softened, the conflict in his eyes slowly receding. All right, Aline. I'll stand by you. But we need a plan. We need to gather proof of his intentions before we confront him. As we walked side by side, I could feel the tension in the air, the gravity of our mission settling heavily on my shoulders. I had heard the call of Verdantia, and now it was up to us to protect its heart. The forest whispered around us, a chorus of hope and danger intertwining, urging us to act before it was too late. The air was thick with tension as the confrontation reached its peak. My heart raced, each beat echoing the urgency of the moment. Gaspard and I stood shoulder to shoulder, staring at Raoul, who had just revealed his true colors. The calm, charismatic leader we had followed was now a predator, eyes glinting with a fervor I had never seen before. Do you really think you can stop me? Raoul's voice dripped with disdain. You're just pawns in a game you don't even understand. He stepped closer, the shadows of the ancient trees casting ominous shapes around him. I could feel the voice of Verdantia pulsing in my mind, urging me to act. We won't let you exploit this planet. I shouted, my voice rising above the rustling leaves. Verdantia is not your weapon. Gaspard's hand gripped my arm tightly. Aline, we need to warn the others. If he can amplify emotions, he'll twist their minds to his advantage. The urgency in his voice made my stomach churn. The realization hit me like a lightning bolt. The very essence of the planet could be used against us. "Let them come," Raoul sneered, a cruel smile creeping across his lips. "The more, the merrier. I'll show them the power they've been yearning for. They'll follow me, just as you did." I exchanged a glance with Gaspard, both of us understanding the gravity of the situation. We had to act quickly. "Let's move," I urged, pulling Gaspard deeper into the forest, away from Raoul's piercing gaze. The trees seemed to whisper encouragement, their leaves rustling like a chorus of support. As we raced through the underbrush, I could feel the energy of the planet shifting around us. The trees, the soil, even the air felt alive, as if it were gauging our emotions, amplifying our fear and determination. "What do we do now?" Gaspard panted, glancing back nervously. "We need to gather the others and warn them," I replied, my mind racing. "If Raoul can manipulate their feelings, we have to show them the truth about him. We can't let him turn them against each other." Just then, we stumbled into a small clearing where a few of the chosen had gathered, their faces etched with confusion. "What's happening?" one of them, a young woman named Ilara, asked, her eyes wide. "Raoul isn't who he claims to be," I said, urgency lacing my words. "He plans to use Verdantia's energy for his own gain. We have to stand together against him." "Are you sure?" another man, Marcus, questioned, his brow furrowed. "He seemed so convincing. I felt drawn to him." "That's exactly it," Gaspard interjected. "The planet can amplify our emotions. Raoul is using it to manipulate you. We need to resist him and unite our strength." The group exchanged glances, uncertainty flickering in their eyes. I stepped forward, feeling the warmth of Verdantia's energy coursing through me. "We are chosen for a reason. This planet has a consciousness, a will that seeks to protect itself. If we embrace our bond with Verdantia, we can stand against the darkness Raoul represents." As my words hung in the air, I could see the shift in their expressions. The doubt began to fade, replaced by a glimmer of determination. Ilara nodded, her voice steady. "You're right. We can't let him win. We have to fight for Verdantia, for ourselves." Gaspard took a deep breath, his resolve strengthening. "There's a way to channel the energy of the planet, to use it against him. If we focus our intentions, we can amplify our bond instead of letting Raoul twist it." "Let's do it," I said, my heart swelling with hope. We gather our strength, channel it through the trees, through the ground. Together, we can create a barrier against Raoul's influence. The chosen formed a circle, hands clasped, hearts aligned. As we centered ourselves, I could feel the pulse of Verdantia growing stronger, a rhythmic heartbeat that resonated within us. The energy swirled around, illuminating our connection to the land and each other. "On 3, Gaspard instructed, his voice firm. 1, 2, 3, now!" We focused our intentions, reaching out to the very essence of the planet, feeling it respond to our call. The forest around us thrummed with life, a vibrant force that promised protection. I embraced my role as the guardian of Verdantia, determined to shield it from Raoul's greed. "Together!" I shouted, and the energy surged, a wave of strength that echoed through the trees, ready to confront the darkness that threatened our future. The air crackled with tension as I stood before the ancient tree, its gnarled roots stretching deep into the earth like the very veins of Verdantia. The voice pulsed around me, a symphony of whispers that felt both foreign and intimately familiar. I could feel its energy coursing through me, revitalizing my spirit while simultaneously anchoring me to the moment. Raoul was here, and I knew that our destinies were intertwined in ways I had yet to fully comprehend. "Do you really believe you can stop me, Aline?" Raoul's voice dripped with arrogance, echoing through the dense foliage. He stepped forward, confidence radiating from him like a dark cloud. "The planet is a tool, and I will wield it to save humanity. You're just too blinded by your idealism to see the bigger picture." I took a deep breath, grounding myself in the presence of the tree. "You don't understand. Verdantia is not a tool," I replied, my voice steady. "It's a living entity. You can't just exploit its power without consequences." Raoul's laugh was harsh, cutting through the serenity of the forest. Consequences? You think I care about consequences? I've seen what humanity has become. It's weak, and this planet holds the key to our salvation. I will take what I need, even if it means destroying you. The forest around us began to shift, as if responding to my emotions. Vines twisted and curled, forming barriers that pushed Raoul backward. You can't fight me with nature, Aline, he sneered, but there was a glimmer of doubt in his eyes. I'm stronger than you think. Strength isn't about brute force, Raoul, I countered, my heart racing. It's about connection, understanding, and respect. You've let your greed corrupt you. The voice, it wants to protect this world, and it chose me for a reason. The energy surged within me, urging me to act, to channel the planet's resonance. I closed my eyes, focusing on the warmth that enveloped me, visualizing the roots of the tree reaching out to connect with every living thing in the forest. Verdantia, guide me, I whispered, feeling the power swell. The barriers around us thickened, pushing Raoul further away. Fool! You think you can protect this place? Raoul shouted, desperation creeping into his tone. I am part of it too. The voice speaks to me as well, but I'm not afraid to embrace its true potential. I open my eyes, locking gazes with him. What you call potential is nothing but corruption. You're consumed by your lust for power. Let me show you the truth. In that moment, I felt the forest respond to my plea, the roots of the ancient tree extending toward Raoul, attempting to pull him into its embrace. I could see the swirl of energy around him, dark and chaotic, a stark contrast to the vibrant light that surrounded me. I realized then that he was indeed connected to Verdantia, but his connection had twisted him, much like the vines that choked the life from the trees. Release me! Raoul screamed, panic breaking through his bravado. You don't understand what you're doing. Maybe I don't, I admitted, tears stinging my eyes. But I can't let you destroy what this planet stands for. It deserves a guardian, not a conqueror. I felt the weight of my decision pressing down on me. If I severed his connection, I would be sacrificing my own bond to the planet. But it was the only way to save Verdantia and its voice from being drowned in his greed. The whispers grew louder, filling my mind with clarity and resolve. Forgive me, I whispered, my heart breaking. I do this for you, for all of us. In a final surge of determination, I reached out with my hand, channeling every ounce of energy the tree had bestowed upon me. The roots veered toward Raoul, wrapping around him with a fierce urgency, pulling him away from the light and into the shadows. No! No! This isn't how it ends. Raoul shouted as the forest surged, enveloping him in its depths. I felt his power wane, his connection severed, leaving behind a hollow echo of the man he once was. As the darkness consumed him, I gasped, feeling the rush of energy flow back into me. The forest settled, the whispers transforming into a soothing melody. I had done it, I had protected Verdantia. Gaspard emerged from the trees, his eyes wide with disbelief and admiration. You did it, he breathed, stepping closer. You saved us. Yes, I said, my voice trembling. But at what cost? Raoul, he was lost to his own ambition. Gaspard took my hand, his grip firm and reassuring. You are now the protector of this world, Aline. You've shown us what it truly means to be connected to it. I looked around, the forest alive with energy, the voice resonating in harmony with my heartbeat. Verdantia was safe, and I was ready to embrace my new role as its guardian, a bridge between humanity and the heart of this magnificent planet.